you'll see a phrase HODL, which means hold on for dear life.
Oh, wait. Is this a live stream? Did you miss this from Jay? Did you miss it?
What's up, crypto junkies? It's Jay, and welcome to another news segment. Yeah, that's right. You guessed it. We're going to talk about the SEC. We're going to talk about the committee meeting. We're going to talk about crypto. And we're going to talk about how much the U.S. loves crypto. Yeah.
No, you didn't miss it. I'm just trolling you a little bit. Here's the succession, okay? This is the second time I'm shooting this. Started out, let me do a live stream this morning, couldn't get ready in time. Then I shot a video and it was funny. Then turns out there was no audio. So the thing was moving. Good job, OBS, but it didn't record audio. Couple quick things before we dive in. We're gonna talk about the Senate hearing. We're gonna talk about really the US government admitting and supporting crypto, essentially. We're going to talk about how that's a great piece of news. This might be the fifth time you're hearing this. This might be the first time you're hearing this. Now, the hearing itself happened last night, my time, and so I had some time to process it and digest it. And then here we are in the morning again. There's replays. I'll link them underneath this video. You'll get everything that you need. A couple quick updates. First off, finally, we got approved for Steemit, okay? So there's no post yet, but at Crypto Junkies, go ahead and give that a follow so that you don't miss out on anything. We're going to be posting mostly TA there. Maybe I'll do some vlog stuff. We'll see. We're going to be shutting down, well, I'm not linking out to the Discord anymore. We're going to be shutting that down and really privatizing the community for a little bit, at least the next 30 days, so that we can prioritize who's in there and the community of almost 4,000, as well as shed some of the fat, some of the people who aren't in there for the right reasons. So you won't see a link underneath the video anymore. So if you didn't get in, you see 489 people online right now as you're watching this video, well, I guess you lose. So you have to wait until we open that back up again, all right? The Twitter and all the other links that you need, if you're brand new into cryptocurrency, you need help with a wallet, all of that's underneath the video. And most important thing is we've got a 60-day trade challenge going on right now. One of the big things I wanted to do was, after I decided that I was no longer going to be talking about lending programs and platforms, I obviously was like, okay, let me go nuts with day trading. I wanted to encourage a ton of people from the community to do the same thing. This is one of many challenges that we'll be doing, and this is really part of how we're different. This is how we're doing things with our community. And so we want to take the transition, I do, and I want everybody to come along with me and stop doing those things. So this is one of the many ways that we're planning on doing that, okay? So you can get involved. It's just based off of highest ROI in a total of a 60-day period. That period ends March 15th, 2018. We have thousands of dollars on the line, but it's valued at BTC value. So keep that in mind, okay? Number one prize is 0.1 BTC, which is insane, okay? And we're giving away some merch. The rules are going to be underneath the video. Super simple to follow. Get involved. If nothing else, paper trade with us. Just fake trade, simulate trade with us. Keep track of it so you would see how well you would do if you in fact were using real money. Give it a shot, okay? Also too, we've got the ongoing VPN promotion with NordVPN. The promo code is CryptoJ, 77% off. I know, insane, right? Get in on that. If you're brand new into cryptocurrency, we got all the goods. Charting goods, Coinbase, first deposit from fiat into BTC. If you want to move some BTC into gold, we got you covered there. And if you want to boost your brain up, I got some focus pills for you too. All right, I'm the show master. We show everything here. And if you got questions, reach out to cryptojunkies@protonmail.com and maybe sort of help you out, okay? Just depends on how much other things are going on. Twitter is your place to get up to date information on what's going on in the market. I find it a great place. If you want to ransack who we follow TAs, we follow all the exchanges, we follow all the authorities, the blockchain fundamental people, the TA people, economists, anyone that can help you get the edge up. And so follow along with those people, okay? Next, let's dive into it. So here's what basically happened. We had the CFTC chairman and the SEC chairman meet up with senators. And they talked about cryptocurrency, they talked about blockchain technology, they talked about Bitcoin. There was a lot of talk of the problems with ICOs, scams, fraudsters, now they call them shysters, and really the rules and regulations. Since this is the second time I'm shooting this, it might not be as golden as the first one, but let me attempt to cliff note this thing, okay? First things first, they love blockchain technology.
I want to continue on a line of questioning that Senator Warner began. So putting aside Bitcoin or other kinds of cryptocurrencies that are based on blockchain or distributed ledger technology, what are your thoughts on the potential value of that underlying technology of blockchain and distributed ledger technology, both to enterprises and consumers and perhaps to government agencies?
It's important to remember that if there were no Bitcoin, there would be no distributed ledger technology. It grew out of that technology initiative. And the potential applications, and by the way, I'm no pie in the sky dreamer. I just report what I read, but the applications range from enormous potential in financial services industry and the banking industry, but right down to the way charity dollars are spent, the way perhaps refugees are accounted for across the globe. There was an article just this morning about the use of distributed ledger technology for 2.5 billion people around the world who don't have access to banking services. One of the areas that in our own area of agriculture futures, 66 million tons of American soybeans were just handled through a blockchain transaction by the Dreyfus Company for sale to China. So Bitcoin is now being used. It's used in our American transportation and logistics system. And most importantly, the potential of distributed ledger technology for regulators to be able to do really close market surveillance. And if it had been available in 2008, if we had been able to see the counterparty credit exposure of one bank to another bank in real time with precision, that would have enabled much more precise policy choices that had to be made in a rush without good data. So I think distributed ledger technology has got an enormous potential. Now, how it will be realized, when it will be realized, what are the other challenges in it, those we can't say, but the potential seems extraordinary.
Thank you. Mr. Clayton?
I agree that the potential seems very significant. And just look around anywhere in our economy where verification and record keeping has cost that is potentially reduced is an opportunity for this technology. That's just one of them, and I hope people pursue it vigorously.
And they also recognize that they have no clue where the volatility comes from with Bitcoin, which is a bombshell if you think about it. Them admitting they have no clue, they didn't even admit that technical analysis worked or fundamental analysis. They didn't say any of that. They just said they have no idea how volatility happens in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Okay, next, they talked about ICOs. Not a single ICO has registered itself as a security. Okay, Jay Clayton said that every ICO is a security, basically. So that's the rule, guys. If you didn't catch it already. And he used the word should, but apparently should means yes in his eyes. So we can just assume that the SEC is treating every single ICO as a security. Now, what does that really mean? Almost every single ICO says no to Singapore residents, China residents, and US residents, citizens. What it essentially means is that if you do go ahead and somehow you slip through the cracks and the KYC isn't checked and somehow you get approved and you buy coins and you do this whole blah, 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 there's no protection for you. And even with that being said, they mentioned the fact that there's very little that they can do to protect the people, meaning that if you do get involved in some sort of scam or an exchange exits out or gets hacked, there's nothing they can really do because the money's gone. Now, they did on this front mention that they have created a joint task force internationally to help better regulate this and communicate and talk about rules. And this scam happened in this country. Let's stop them over in this country. You know, that is going to open up the doors and really the gates to dropping a lot of the international borders and boundaries that we have. Because naturally it has to. I think this is a good thing. You know, internationally, they should be speaking at a much deeper level. These agencies should be working together. So all the people that, you know, got scammed in BitConnect, myself included, like that is a solution for everybody. Is if there was more agencies communicating, this might have been stopped sooner, or there might have been pressure put on them to actually facilitate and create, you know, come up with this trading bot or the results that it's getting or the algorithm, something, right? How it happened is pressure is put on them. They use that as a horrible excuse, a bullshit excuse to exit out. And look where they've been, right? Look where they've been to fill in their investors on what's going on, gone. All the promoters that are on the hook for promoing them, myself sort of included, for, you know, talking about them on YouTube and stuff. Where's the support to them? Gone, zero. I'll fill you in on that, zero right there, okay? I haven't gotten an email, I haven't gotten a WhatsApp, I haven't gotten a Telegram, I haven't gotten I wasn't a big guy. I was a pretty small guy. But yeah, apparently that's what's going on with that. So if we want to stop those things from happening, if we want to stop the Mt. Gox, you know, we had a NEM $500 million hack. Impressively, they're still going up, by the way, just about a week ago. We've had other similar situations. We had Ares Bank, ARIES, Bank and Coin, that was shut down. They talked about some of the scams that they're investigating. I'm sure BitConnect will be added to that list because in terms of size, people, and money, I think it will be by far one of the biggest. So let's see what they do there, okay? Speaking about regulation, they also talked about influencers, ICOs, and endorsing cryptocurrency. They didn't say anything about endorsing a cryptocurrency or exchange. They talked about specifically ICOs, and there is, how it works is this: ICOs are looked at as a security, so security law is now a liability that a promoter takes on. They spoke of Kardashian and Mayweather, which are way out of my world, but I would assume that there is going to be a trickle-down effect to some degree to YouTubers like myself, and especially as we continue to grow. Like, let's say 6 months from now, we have a million subscribers or something like that. Like, then we're a big guy. And so they would probably start to look at what we were doing and maybe some of the stuff from the past, and we'd face whatever repercussions at that point. You guys know how I feel about that. You need to stay integral to yourself. So whatever decisions you made, I don't believe in hiding from them or trying to put on some sort of mask or lie about what happened in the past. Like, my past is out there. You can fully see it, all the videos, except for a few that we've got out there. And so that's really just showing and demonstrating my journey and the journey of this channel, which I think has been incredible. And I think that's what people should be focusing on, not the specifics, right? Anyway, so they talked about promoters and what we can expect at the high level, which I'm sure will be echoed down to some degree. They talked about ETFs and why they've really pretty much been resisting it. It's because they primarily target retail investors and largely one-sided markets. Rules governing their creation must be more strict than those for futures contracts, which are overseen by the CFTC. So, big question mark. Overall, the sentiment in this hearing was positive. There was only a couple of the senators that seemed really starky with their words and were talking very sharply. Most of them were very excited. There was conversations from the senator from Kentucky about his residents and his people that were talking about using cryptocurrency as a retirement mechanism. And that's when it turned quickly into the conversation of volatility. But the fact that people are starting to look at this as a more viable retirement solution is incredible. If nothing else, for the blockchain technology, maybe not Bitcoin itself, and who knows what will happen with each one of these coins over the next 12 to 36 months, but we can assume that blockchain technology will continue to be adopted, and what that looks like will be different as time goes on, right? And there was talks of cryptocurrency undermining fiat currencies and I guess the overall fear that represents and the real liability that represents. That was a very broad conversation that was talked about, but overall the problem that they all agreed on, and I would agree on as well, is that we need education and disclosure. Right now, things are being handled too much on a state-by-state level, and right now we need national support is what was being discussed. And I would agree, you know, there's a lot of things that can happen in a market like this that isn't regulated the same as traditional stock market or commodities or even a futures market, right? And so they talked about that, but overall, like I said, the sentiment was very, very positive. You can see the replay. I'll link it underneath the video. That is a positive step forward, especially when we were starting to hit some low lows on BTC. That has definitely been a contributing factor to pumping life back into this. Now, if you don't believe in technical analysis at all, and you just believe that this is just this coin that's floating along and floating down the river being pulled by news left and right internationally, then you can say that because of the SEC and news coming out of Singapore, that the coin has now been pumped up. Because if you look now, we're up quite a bit from where we were just yesterday when we hit this bottom and bounced here, and now we're starting to follow another 5-wave pattern here, if you believe in that, of course. If you don't believe in TI, I think you're a little bit silly, personally. This is something that's been proven for hundreds, if not thousands of years to a degree. How social economies work, how markets work, there is patterns and waves to that, okay? I think that by ignoring it, it's a little bit silly, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so let's talk about just real quick a sweet spot zone that we just bounced off of, which is this right here. This is the 618 fib line that we bounced off of, which is 7189. There's a couple of people that actually called this right on the money. Congratulations on that. So there you go. From a TA standpoint, they were looking at this right here and called this number that happened right here in the future. So again, to a high degree, you can calculate what's going to happen based on the tools, the indicators that you are given, okay? Where we are going from here, there's a lot of exciting things happening right now. I won't get into where my price projections are, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited overall for crypto. They are too. Hence the increase in noise. Thanks, guys. That's just killing me right now. Okay. Let me see if I forgot anything. We talked EFTs, we talked ICOs, we talked influencers, we talked the international task force that they're going to be creating. We're talking the overall positive sentiment that they had. I mean, nobody was talking bubble. Nobody was talking Ponzi. Nobody was talking, you know, this is a crock of shit. Nobody was saying this is going to go away. And there's a ton that supports this. You know, we have new technology, new investments, new physical buildings being built, physical structures being built every single day to support the mining aspects of it, the flow of it. We have retail looking at adoption of different currencies as a transaction currency. There's all kinds of things going on. And I think a lot of the underlying technology will be the winner in this, okay? So if you want to look at a long-term play and more of an investor play versus speculation play, it would be in the technology, the underlying technology. This one, by the way, is tangerine, cinnamon, turmeric, pineapple, ginger, and lime. God damn, that's good. Whew. Tell you what, you want to feel a shot of life, just drink some cold pressed juice and that'll get you going real quick. So I liked it. You can also catch it on zerohedge.com. I believe they've got a replay up right now, but it was good. It was positive sentiment. Second piece of really good news I've got for you is that Singapore, the PM said that there's no reason for them to ban crypto. Now, they have rules and regulations on ICOs, which is why most ICOs exclude Singapore at this point. Overall, there's nothing that's really changed in Singapore, and I think that's good. I think that the US will, you know, it's good that they're continuing to look at ICOs as a security, and they're going to focus on, like I said, disclosure and education, which let's riff on that for a second. I'm sorry, but marketers drive education. Okay, there's 5 levels of market sophistication. Eugene Schwartz back in the 50s presented this in one of his very first books. If you go back in time, everything that became big did so predominantly because of marketing. I know there's a lot of people in the world who think marketing is evil and that it's shitty and it doesn't work. Whatever your thing is, right? Marketing absolutely does work. And I get that that would maybe be like collusion for the government or a governing body to like hire marketers to help them educate the market, but they absolutely should. If that is in fact their focus, then they should be spending money on search engine optimization and search marketing to be able to get their information presented first at the top, the most, you know what I mean? From a volume standpoint, they should be investing to get that information out to their people, their residents of their country. That should be a primary focus for them. That would involve them at least consulting a marketing expert to help them get that going. What they talked about on the hearing was that they started a podcast and they've gotten a few thousand downloads. That's not really that good, you know, like call Tim Ferriss, call Gary Vaynerchuk, get them on the phone, have them help you at least get an idea of what to do to bring the education to the forefront. And it was interesting, at one point there was a mention, they actually asked this guy right here, I can't pronounce his last name, he's this guy, Chairman Giancarlo, there it is, I can't pronounce it, Giancarlo. They said, hey, when's the last time you invested in anything? Stock, a future, commodities. He kind of bumped around because I don't think he understood where they were going with it, and he wasn't sure what answer to give. It was kind of funny. And so finally he said, oh, about like a year ago. And he said, okay, did you read the disclosure when you invested? And he said, no, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't read it. The senator's point was, okay, if you didn't read the disclosure, and we can assume most people don't, what's the point? And I love this. This is a nugget that I got out of this, because this is challenging the thing that has been brushed under the rug for the longest time, which is called accountability. Now, there's something that we've all just accepted that I don't necessarily think is the best option for us anymore. And what that is that as human beings, as US residents, we can choose to basically do as much stupid shit as we want with our money, and we're almost always rewarded or given given something back for it, meaning that we don't have to have that high of accountability. And we're always rewarding victims, okay? So food stamps and those sorts of programs, Social Security and those sorts of programs. And then finally, anybody who gets scammed on some sort of MLM opportunity or some sort of high interest program, right? You can basically go out and spend almost unlimited amount of money, and then to some degree, you can count on the government. As long as you raise your hand and say, I'm a victim, they'll go to bat for you and get you something back. I don't necessarily agree with that 100%. You know, it's 2018. We should be taking more accountability for our decisions and our actions. Even with your Visa and MasterCard, you can call Visa and MasterCard and almost win any dispute that you put on your account. That to a degree is a little bit ridiculous, just blindly, you know, trusting and taking the customer's side. I don't think it's necessarily our best way forward. We've got this big gap happening right now, okay? Bear with me. And it is this old investment vehicles that we've got that yield very little right now. And we've got this new thing called crypto, and there's this huge gap between them. So more people are going to naturally go to this because everyone wants to get rich quick. You got to understand human nature, okay? Our primal stuff, which pecking order, primal needs, all of that comes into play, especially when we're dealing with money. And people get really weird and wacky with money. You guys know that. Over here, they're seeing this new shiny thing called crypto, and they are jumping in all in, right? A ton of this stuff sounds too good to be true. I can admit that looking back on my decisions and looking back on some of the things that I did, it was stupid. And that's why I'm making change. That's why I'm getting smarter. That's why I'm improving. I'm studying, and I'm taking the time to get better because I want to get better, okay? I want to make a killing off of this stuff, and I want you to as well. But if we continue to really just facilitate this loop, then I don't feel like we're going to be moving forward at the rate we could. And the loop is the following. I don't have to really do research. I don't have to really educate myself because I know if I go and jump into this thing like a BitConnect, then, and it doesn't work out, I can go and I can reach out to the government, cry wolf, tell them I was scammed. Chances are, I mean, with BitConnect, we can all admit we were scammed. And so I was scammed, and then they'll go to bat for me and I'll get some sort of money back. So at what point am I being like forced to be smarter? At what point am I taking accountability instead of just scapegoating and just raising my hand saying, yep, I'm a victim. Cool, sign the list. We're going to go to bat for you. We're going to work our ass off for you, and you're going to get a cut. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if that point will really hit home with everybody. It just depends on, I think, like what consciousness level you're at and what you've gone through in life and experienced. But I will say that in every situation, I believe that it's co-created, meaning that there is a balance of accountability and responsibility in that equation. You weren't forced to do anything, right? Like nobody forced your hand, nobody made you do it. No matter how much you attempt to write off as influence and manipulation, you are your own individual. And by agreeing to something like that over here, it opens you up for a ton of liability over there. Anyway, that's my riff on that, but I thought that was a really key point that was brought up about disclosure and education. It's great. And I think that this is a surface level issue to a much deeper problem that needs to be addressed. And a deeper problem is that as a society as a whole, I think there should be more fundamental training about how to be a good person, how to create your own set of morals and values and move in this world and serve and provide value to others, and those sort of basics in life. A lot of the things that in Asian culture and a lot of Middle Eastern culture are baked into their religions, are baked into things like Buddhism and Taoism and Hinduism, right? Their spirituality has those sorts of rules baked in while simultaneously not taking themselves too serious. And they can kind of make fun of themselves and those sorts of pieces that make life more fun. My point on that is I think that's really the fundamental problem, and that is a huge, deep conversation. I know that, and I'm not expecting to tackle that in a 20-minute video, but that's what I got out of what's going on. It's proven to be bullish because let's take a quick look at CoinMarketCap, give this a refresh. We're up to $349 billion in the market cap. Remember how the market cap is calculated, okay? It's the total supply of every single coin on this list, which is 1,500 currencies, times the price that is currently going at, gives you this number right here, okay? 35% BTC dominance. And I will say this, for the first time in a long effing time, we have a top 100, my friends, that is all green. Round of applause. The top 100 is all green. It's been a long time. It's been like, what, 50 days of all of us getting our ass kicked. And so if you have made it to today, if you are still in the market, first off, congratulations to you. Secondly, hang in there. Keep refining your plan and keep moving forward. The worst thing you can do in this game is staying still. You know it and I know it. Continue to work on your skill set, continue to learn, and continue to tune into that kind of intuitive gut feeling that you've got, because as you gain more skills and hone that, you will be unstoppable, my friends. Believe that. All right, if this is your first time to the channel and you like what we're doing, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on any updates that we post, as well as you will get first notice when we go live. We've got some cool live streams coming up, and I want you to be in on that. So like this video, place a comment if you'd like. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I'm talking about and your point of view on everything going on with the Senate hearing, with cryptocurrency. I'd like to hear what's going on for you. And outside of that, go ahead and give us a follow on Steemit. The new blog will get started today. I've got a tutorial getting dropped on there for Neo. I grabbed up some Neo positions at 110, which was awful because then it dropped to 64. I'll show you how I cost average down. I'll show you the entry and exit points that I was looking at because I've been following it for the last 2 days, and then I finally got out of it. And I will show you all of that on the Steemit vlog. I hope that's enticing, and I hope that's enough to get you over there and get you to subscribe. But outside of that, my friends, be on the lookout because we'll be dropping more bomb-ass content on the channel soon. See ya!